Welcome back. A new report is detailing how the Biden administration is planning to continue its pace on executive actions next week by outlawing a series of themes it plans to hit on. Take a look. You can see it there. Here to weigh in on this big week, which has Buy American, racial equality, climate change, healthcare. We have our panel, Charlie Hurt, Leslie Marshall, Washington Times opinion editor, I should point out, and Fox News contributor. And, of course, Leslie is a Democratic strategist and Fox News contributor as well. Happy Saturday to both of you. I want to ask the simple question.
Happy Saturday to you guys.
But based on what we've seen so far in the Biden administration, are we seeing a centrist or liberal Biden administration? I'll start with you, Charlie.
Well, I think without a doubt, when you look at the executive actions that Joe Biden has taken so far, it's hardly centrist. These are, when you talk about some of the immigration policies that the Biden administration is pursuing, these are things that are not only not popular among the broad public or not popular among Republicans, they're not even popular among Democrat voters. But of course, all of this is going to be sidelined as long as Democrats insist upon pursuing this impeachment, which, of course, to me suggests that they have absolutely no real agenda whatsoever except to relitigate the past 4 years and do what basically they failed to do a year ago at the beginning of this pandemic, which was to get rid of Trump, even now that Trump is already gone.
But, Leslie, some Democrats are happy to include some progressive ones. What do you say? Liberal or centrist administration we're seeing so far?
I'm a centrist-minded Democrat, as most of those in the House, the Senate, and in the nation are. And, Charlie, even though you're the last person you may not remember right outside of Fox News that I hugged in person before this pandemic, I got to disagree with you, and here's why. When you say these are not largely popular, well, I highly disagree. Raising the minimum wage, the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour, is liked by the masses. So is not keeping DACA recipients in limbo. So is reuniting children with their families and not separating them from their families in the future. This is not a hardcore radical left agenda, and quite frankly, this is exactly what Joe Biden campaigned on before he was elected president. 84 million people wanted this agenda, obviously. And to your point about impeachment, I think it was Senator Klobuchar yesterday who said, talk to any woman who can, cook and homeschool and work at home and clean the house, please. They can walk and chew gum at the same time. This is not about punishing Donald Trump. This is about fulfilling their constitutional responsibility as congressional members.
Charlie, quickly, do you want to respond?
Well, of course, the real thing about the impeachment is it has nothing to do with removing him from office because he's already left. What it has to do is it's aimed at preventing him from ever running again, which is pretty funny because it's sort of a tell by Democrats that they still are terrified of him, A, and B, they don't want to talk about anything else. They just want to keep talking about Trump. What are we going to talk about once the impeachment is gone and he is gone?
Well, Leslie, you mentioned hugs, and I love that reference because really that's what we need on Washington on Capitol Hill. However, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell doesn't seem like he wants to offer any hugs right now to his counterpart Chuck Schumer, the Senate Majority Leader. Here's a little bit of what McConnell had to say about what we've seen from President Biden so far. Take a listen.
On the Biden administration's very first day, it took several big steps in the wrong direction. The president re-entered the failed Paris Climate Agreement. The president also unilaterally canceled the Keystone XL pipeline.
So, Leslie, I ask you, President Biden wants to unify Capitol Hill. How's he doing so far?
Well, I think, and I actually tweeted this to Senator Marco Rubio. Unity doesn't mean I give you everything you want. That's not what unity is. And every politician, whether left or right, knows that. Look, Senator Mitch McConnell, and to your point, Charlie, 10 Republicans voted with Democrats. Senator Mitch McConnell might be voting to convict, by the way, and we'll see how many Republicans do. So this is not a just Democratic agenda with regard to impeachment. But the unity comes from us as well. I mean, it comes to not just from politicians. It comes from those of us, out there, which obviously the president can't control our individual choices and our free will. When it comes to legislation, the President Biden is going to put forth what he campaigned on. Yeah. That's what every individual sitting president does, whether Democrat or Republican. And Mitch McConnell, at the end of the day, he's a Republican, and he's going to push back. And quite frankly, He's doing his job. So this is no surprise. Politics as usual.
We'll have to leave it there. Leslie Marshall, Charlie Hurt, thank you for taking time. We'll now go and let you hug each other. Thanks, guys. Alicia.